What's going on, guys, and welcome to a Doctor Who classic review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Doctor Who Frontier in Space, which is from Jon Pertwee's 4th season. It's season 10 of Doctor Who, Jon Pertwee's 4th out of 5th season from 1973 by Malcolm Hulke. Now, I had the urge to watch some classic Doctor Who the other day. I've always been a New Who fan. I have watched a bit of classic Doctor Who, however not a lot, and I really want to start getting into it. So I decided to watch Planet of the Daleks. However, after watching it, I thought, I kind of want to do some reviews on my channel for this. However, I realised that Frontier in Space, the episode before Planet of the Daleks, is kind of the lead into Planet of the Daleks. So I felt like I should really review this first. Now with this series, I'm going to be reviewing episodes in any random order. They're not going to be in, chronological order or anything. However, I thought I would review this before Planet of the Daleks because it does kind of, go into it. So today, we're reviewing Frontier in Space. Now, I'm going to read the blurb, I guess, from the back of the DVD right now. It is the year 2450, and a fragile peace exists between the Great Empire of Earth and Draconia. The TARDIS materializes aboard an Earth cargo ship, which comes under attack. Arrested and accused of espionage, the Doctor is sentenced to life imprisonment on the Moon, but salvation arrives in an unexpected form. Can the Doctor and Jo stop the Master's plans to provoke a galactic war and reveal the deadly enemy waiting for the chance to destroy both empires? So, this is an interesting little story. Although it does kind of feed into Planet of the Daleks, which we'll get to eventually, it's not really a Dalek story at all. It's a story between Earth, the humans, and the Draconians. And then we kind of have, in the middle of that, we also have the Master and the Ogrons. I believe they're called Ogrons. So it's kind of, there's a lot going on in this story. We have so many different species, I suppose. So it's pretty crazy. So Earth and the Draconians, have this peace. However, they've always kind of had a bit of a iffy thing with each other, and it turns out that the Ogrons use this device to make people see their biggest fears. So the humans, I was going to say the Earthlings, humans, their biggest fear is apparently the Draconians. So if they see someone when this device is being used by the Ogrons, they see Draconians even if they're not Draconians. Vice versa, the Draconians see humans. So a Ogron ship ends up boarding the human ship that the Doctor and Jo land the TARDIS on. They end up using their device to make themselves look like Draconians, and then it all gets a bit crazy. The humans think that the Doctor and Jo are, working with the Draconians, and it all gets a bit messy and it's all a bit crazy. Now, I'm going to talk about some good things and some bad things from this episode. First of all, it is a 6-part episode, which is pretty common for classic Doctor Who. Most episodes are kind of 4 or 6 episodes. That's kind of the norm. Around about 24 to 25 minutes each. So we're talking just over 2 hours probably all up, which is quite long, to be honest. Now, one issue I have with classic Who is that it does tend to drag a lot of the time. 2 hours, that's a hell of a lot of time. You don't have that sort of time for New Who episodes, so it's definitely a lot of time, and it can feel pretty slow. And I think this is one of those episodes that does feel pretty slow. By the way, Frontier in Space, from what I can tell, is regarded as one of the better Jon Pertwee episodes by a lot of people. However, we'll get into my thoughts on it in this video, but personally, I don't think it's quite as good as everyone says it is, in my opinion. So yeah, it's pretty slow at times. There's a lot of stuff that just feels like it takes a lot of time. One of the main reasons I think it feels slow is because, first of all, the Master and the Ogrons don't appear until, I'm not sure if it's the end of episode 3 or somewhere in episode 4. It's around the midpoint anyway. That's when the Master and the Ogrons appear. So it does take quite a while for that to happen. I think after the Master does appear, the story really starts to pick up. The Master comes, it just all gets a bit more intense, a bit more interesting, but before he shows up, I think it's very slow. One of the main reasons for this is because the Doctor and Jo keep getting captured in this story. Now, on other reviews I've watched, I've only watched one full-on review because I couldn't really find any on YouTube, but from, people talking about this episode, nobody really seems to kind of talk about how often the Doctor and Joe get captured, which may be a little bit of a minor thing, but it actually kind of annoys me because it just keeps on happening. We start off the story with the Doctor and Joe. They get captured by the humans because they think they're working with the Draconians. They get sent to Earth, where they kind of get imprisoned again, and then they have to go talk to the president, when they kind of get put back in their prison again. Then the Master comes along and takes Joe, puts her in a cage on his ship, so he's basically imprisoning her at that current point in time. The Doctor has to go to prison on the moon, so he's imprisoned again. He tries to escape the moon, gets captured by the Master, goes into the cage, he's imprisoned again. The Doctor and Joe just keep going from prison cell to prison cell to cage, and it just feels like it gets a bit old after a while. Especially in the first 3 or 4 episodes, they're just constantly going from prison cell to cage, and it just kind of bores me a little bit. It's like, can we actually have the Doctor and Joe running about doing some stuff? Because most of the time they're just sat in a prison cell. That is a bit boring. Luckily, that does kind of get a bit better when the Master shows up after they do get out of his cage. It kind of gets a bit better from there, but it does take quite a while for that to all blow over, and I think it does go on for a bit too long. Also, the ending, there is spoilers in this, by the way. I probably did put that in the description, but the ending feels really, really rushed. Basically, the Doctor uses the Ogron's device to trick the Ogron that's guarding the cage that him and Joe are in, tricks him, makes the Ogron think he's a Dalek, and tells him to let him out. The Ogron lets him out. The Doctor and Joe come face to face with the Master and the rest of the Ogrons. The Ogrons freak out after the Doctor uses the device again, and then it kind of just goes all weird, and the Ogrons run away. The Master runs away, gets hit a little bit, gets nudged by an Ogron, shoots his gun, shoots the Doctor in the head. Luckily, it just kind of grazes past the Doctor's head. It doesn't actually kill him. He just kind of gets knocked down, and then the Master just runs off. It's just done in an instant. It feels like a really quick, rushed ending, and I don't know that it feels rushed, and it also feels a little bit lazy. Just kind of the Doctor just presses this. Oh, Ogrons run around. Doctor gets shot. Master runs away. There we go. It's done. We also have the appearance of the Daleks at the end of this story. They're not a big part of this. I think they were there more or less to set up Planet of the Daleks. However, when we do get to reviewing Planet of the Daleks eventually, we'll figure out that it never really gets, we don't really talk about what they were doing in Frontier in Space. Basically, the Daleks were working with the Master and the Ogrons because they wanted the humans and the Draconians to fight each other, and then the Daleks were going to pick up the scraps afterwards so they could wipe them all out. But we don't really pick that up in Planet of the Daleks. I felt like that's what they were trying to go for here, but because the Daleks don't do much apart from just say, that's what we're doing, we want to pick up the scraps, and then it's like, okay, Daleks are gone, we're going to go to this planet where the Daleks supposedly are now, and then that's where Planet of the Daleks begins. So, the Daleks, they're in this, they're not a main villain, but they just kind of feel a bit weird. In this story, it's okay, but it's when you get to Planet of the Daleks that it's like, okay, well, we're not picking up from what we left off with in Frontier in Space, so what is going on there? Feels a bit weird. However, the Daleks, for what they are, if you just count it in this episode, they're okay. They're kind of just there, they're alright. Also, this is the final appearance of Roger Delgado as the Master. He was sadly killed in a car crash only a couple of months after the airing of this episode, I believe. So this is actually his last ever appearance in Doctor Who as the Master, which is very sad. I think it's a bit of a bad way for him to go, him just kind of running off. Yeah, it's not great, but obviously they weren't expecting him. They were probably expecting him to come back, but obviously he couldn't because he died. A few things that I liked about this episode, like I said, after the Master appears, I think things do pick up quite significantly. Things just get a bit more exciting. The whole thing with the Doctor and that guy from the prison in, trying to escape, and they kind of get, the air gets sucked out in that thing they're in, when they're trying to get the spacesuits and stuff. That bit's pretty cool. The Master comes out and pretty much saves them. I think from there onwards, that's when it really picks up. But yeah, that's that. And also the scenes where the Doctor's in space, you know, when he first gets out of the cell, of the prison cell, when he's in the Master's ship and he goes outside in the spacesuit. I think that's a really cool thing, having Jo like talking to the Doctor, trying to distract the Master. You know, she's like standing in front of the security camera. I think that's all really well done. They're probably the best parts of it. You know, some of the conversations with the humans and the Draconians, pretty good as well, you know, with the president of Earth and stuff. All the actors in this, I think, are pretty good actors and actresses. Obviously, Jon Pertwee is on top form, so is Katie Manning as Jo Grant. You know, the Master, of course, Roger Delgado, he's great. Sadly, we do only see him like halfway through, but he's pretty good as when he does appear. And everyone else, you know, the President of Earth, the Williams guy, all the Draconians, they're all pretty good. However, yeah, I just do think this story can be a little bit slow at times. The Doctor and Jo getting captured all the time, it does kind of bug me a little bit, and the ending is a little bit rushed. Also, a pretty minor thing, but I think the soldiers, like the human soldiers, look a bit crap. They have like pillows strapped to their arms and their chests. They just look really, really stupid, and the weird headgear that they wear. I mean, I know Classic Who, it's very dated. Obviously, this was from 1973, for God's sake. But we're talking over 40 years ago. But I think those soldiers just look absolutely stupid. I really don't like them. I can forgive Classic Who for looking a bit crap sometimes, but yeah, those Earth soldiers really look crap. But yeah, if I was gonna have to rate Frontier in Space out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. A lot of people kind of rate it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I'm only going to give it a 7.5 because I think it is a bit slow in places, and all the things that I mentioned before, they do just bug me a little bit. So a 7.5 out of 10, it's still a good, enjoyable story. However, I don't think I regard it as highly as a lot of other people do. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys, and for this review. If you want to see more classic Doctor Who reviews, please tell me in the comments below what episodes would you like to see me review from any era, all the way from the first Doctor to the end of the 7th Doctor. If you want to see any of them, just put the episodes down below and I will try and get on it if I have the episodes, and if not, I am starting to get some more classic episodes as of now, so you know, I'm going to try and get all of them eventually, but obviously that's going to take some time. Anyway, thanks for watching, I'll see you guys in the next video.